I'll go ahead and get started then. Thank you guys for joining. Today we're going to be talking about the 2-line and what businesses can do to really prep for the major changes that'll be coming. First, we'll just talk about some of the basics about the Crosslake Connection. So that'll be the travel times, operating hours, some information about park and rides, as well as some safety and security information. We'll talk about how to empower your team through providing transit benefits and sharing awareness and promoting use of the transportation benefits that you do offer, as well as how to capture new opportunities through the operational and marketing advantages that'll be offered by the 2-line connection, as well as some available resources that we have that we can share with you. And the recording will be sent out after, and I'll make sure to include all of the links as well. And I also have my team here. Jonathan is going to be sending in any links that I mentioned into the chat for y'all's reference. So first off, it will be opening on March 28th. There's going to be a big celebration. The 2 new stations are Judkins Park and Mercer Island. There will be a celebration occurring at Judkins Park, as well as various celebrations happening all throughout the region. And we'll be having one at the Bellevue downtown station as well. So if you want to come and celebrate and just talk to a bunch of local agencies that'll be involved, that'll be the place to be. Again, the 2 new stations, Judkins Park and Mercer Island, and it'll cost $3 to ride, regardless of distance traveled. And that's the same case as it is currently. In terms of travel times, this map I kind of cut it into 2. It's easier to see that way, but you'll see the travel times between these stations. And for those of you that don't know, it will be kind of a horseshoe shape. So if you want to take it from the east side to the airport, you will have to transfer at International District. So that's an important thing to note. An important thing to note if you have customers or employees that may be coming from the south end, that they'll need to transfer in order to get onto the 2-line. And also, if you're boarding up here, make sure you're getting on a train that says 2-line if you're hoping to make it over to the east side. This might be a bit hard to see, but there is a map here that breaks down. I imagine folks are probably looking at this and trying to add up the numbers, figuring out exactly how much it'll take them to get to their spots. Here's a map here that shows the minutes with the International District being the 0 point. So if you're trying to figure out how to get from Northgate to Bellevue, you'll add those together. It'll be about 43 minutes. And I'll send all this will be included. We'll send the slides out as well for you to take a peek. But for those that really want to do a deep dive, there's also this here that shows the distance between all of the stations. So if you're starting at UW and going to Stadium Station, it should be about 17 minutes, and so on and so forth. The red is going to be anything that's longer than an hour. Orange is from 40 minutes to an hour, yellow from 20 to 40, and then green is if it's less than 20 minutes. So this will be helpful information to share as well, or take a look at to understand exactly how long a commute might take you depending on where you're headed. In terms of the operating hours, once it's open, it'll run every 8 minutes during peak hours. Those peak hours are going to be from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. and from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on weekdays. Outside of that, it'll be about every 10 to 15 minutes. And they always make adjustments if there's specific events going on. And so it's a good idea to sign up for transit alerts and learn about any changes that might be happening. And it'll be running from about 5 a.m. to 1 a.m. Monday through Saturday, and from 6 a.m. to midnight on Sunday. These are important things to keep in mind if you are having a special event, trying to keep it within when the train is running if you're hoping to get some transit attendees. And it's much longer than it is currently. I think on weekends it might only be running until like 9 or 10 p.m. right now, but I might be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But it'll be running much longer than it is currently, which is very exciting. The first trains They start operating on the east side a little bit earlier than they do for the ones going all the way across. So for about an hour, they'll run from Spring District to downtown Redmond before they start running from Linwood. So the first one will be leaves at 5 a.m. from Linwood, arrives at downtown Redmond 6 a.m. The last one leaves Linwood around midnight, arrives about 1 a.m. And these also, Sound Transit lists the exact departure times of all of the trains. I think Jonathan is sending it in the chat. Sorry. Yeah, okay, cool. He'll send that. There you go. And what you'll want to do is you can put in a specific date that you're looking at. Even though it's not running yet, the operating hours you can put, I think I put in for April 1st to take a look, but this is also helpful to take a look at what weekend times it's operating and get a good idea of if you have an event on a specific date, what times it'll be operating. I also wanted to chat a little bit about park and rides. For those of you that don't know, these are spots that people can go and park their car to get onto a light rail station or onto a transit center bus. There's a bunch of different ones. I think Jonathan here will send the map where you can take a peek. The Sound Transit website is great too because it also shows you, or I'll also the Sound Transit website, and then they're also listed on WashDOT too. And one of them tells you about the percentage filled and what times they fill up. We've probably all heard that at Linwood, if there's a big game or something, that one can fill up quite quickly. But it's helpful to take a look and see where those park and rides are and recommend that to folks that maybe don't live right next to a station but still want to get onto a train and avoid being on a freeway during the most congested part of their journey. In terms of park and rides at the specific stops, within the maps that Sound Transit puts out, they'll list the parking locations. So currently, Marymore Village, Redmond Technology, Belred, South Bellevue, and then all of these down here with the P also have parking available. It depends how long you can park there. Many of them say 24 hours. Some go up to 48 hours. It'll just depend on the lot you're at. And these are patrolled by police and security. I know there's a lot of questions we get about how safe they are and if you can, if it's okay to leave your car there, but they are patrolled. They're currently free, but they're looking at introducing some charging at select locations in 2027. We're still waiting to hear more information from Sound Transit. And again, they can get full. So depending on what location you're hoping to park at, you might need to get there a bit early or consider driving one stop further. For safety, we get a lot of questions about safety. What we recommend everyone do is to save this number in your phone, and you can actually text it or call it. I've texted it before, and they can get there really quickly. I once texted it, and by the next stop, security officers got on. So what you'll want to do is text with the direction that you're heading in, the next stop, a description of what's happening, as well as the car number. So I included this picture here so you can see the card number is 202B. It'll be listed up on the wall in the middle of the car. On one side, it'll say 202B. On the other side, it'll say 202A. So it just helps them locate you as quickly as possible and hopefully get on within a next stop or the stop after that. In terms of how to empower your team once the 2-line opens, of course, you can offer transportation stipends, just a set amount of money that they're welcome to spend on, be it a transit pass, or maybe they're using it for an e-bike service, or they're spending it on parking. There's the explicit transit passes you can offer through Orca business programs. And there's also the Orca Business Passport, which is going to be the unlimited transit. So the difference is Orca Business Choice is you kind of just putting money into an e-purse for specific individuals or buying monthly passes for specific folks, whereas the Orca Business Passport is an all-inclusive benefit that provides employees a yearly pass covering unlimited access to regional transit at a fraction of the retail rate. So it includes King County Metro, Pierce Transit, Kitsap Transit, Sound Transit, all of these, no matter if they're coming from Kent or Snohomish, will be covered. Even the fast ferries, the Kitsap fast ferries are covered. And additionally, the van pool for anyone who maybe isn't well served by transit on their commute. To share awareness about the benefits that you do have, we recommend making sure employees are aware of their commute benefits from day one. So you'll want to include handouts alongside all the other materials they get when they're onboarding. And I think we have a couple of templates that we can share as well for you to just fill that out and get them to them when they start. It's also great to be aware of the transit stops near you. We recommend the app Transit, the King County Trip Planner, or One Bus Away. Even Google Maps is really great too. And we can create a custom transit guide for your work site if you're hoping to have something that's specific to you and tells your employees how to get to your work site via transit. And you'll want to have bus maps or other brochures on hand. We are going to be getting new brochures and maps from Sound Transit here shortly. So if anyone would like to have some on hand with the travel times that I showed earlier and just listing all of the stations too and the parking locations, just reach out to me, let me know, and we can see what we can do to get you some physical copies. But we also have a digital resource drive that'll have all of those that I'll provide as well. And finally, hosting a transportation fair. This is a free service that the city can help you put on. You can email info@cywb.org to schedule one, but these are really popular. The Sound Transit booth is always the most popular, but it's great because they'll bring a big map and people will have very specific questions, or they'll want to know about the Stride Bus Rapid Transit that's going to be coming the next couple of years. It's just a great opportunity for people to ask their individual questions to the agencies and get to learn more directly from the folks like King County Metro or Sound Transit. And Choose Your Way Bellevue, the city program, can be there as well, just to make sure there's awareness all around. And I'm sure a lot of you know this, but the Crosslake Connection is a big deal, and with it comes a lot of opportunity. One thing we see a lot of businesses doing is evaluating their current transportation benefits, especially free parking. We know that real estate in Bellevue has gotten really popular, really expensive. Congestion has gotten worse. There's more folks coming in to drive and park, and supply and demand, we see the prices rising for parking, and we've had a number of companies that have decided to remove free or discounted parking from their benefits and instead offering transit passes because it is a significant discount. So, and now is a great time to do it. While folks are very excited about the 2-line and the fact that most likely they're coming from somewhere that's going to be better served by a 2-line train or a 1-line train, it's a great opportunity to say, we've heard you, we know you're so excited about this train, and we're going to give you this benefit, and maybe that might take away the sting if they're losing other parking benefits. So just discussing the costs, these are the costs of the business passport, which I mentioned earlier, the unlimited transit. So if you're within the Bellevue Central Business District zone, it's about $180 per person per year. If you're outside of that zone in Bellevue, you're most likely in the King County suburbs, which goes up a little bit to $282 per person per year. This pricing locks you in at an annual rate for a year, but it does update every 6 months. The next update is coming in September, and because it's a reflection of utilization, we do anticipate that these rates might rise with more folks riding the train with the connection. So if it's something you're looking to offer and plan on offering within the next year, we recommend doing it sooner rather than later to make sure that you can lock in that price at the lower rate. And there's also currently a new customer incentive that's going to be 35% off the first year, which is so even beyond this rate. And then if we want to compare that to the retail rate of offering a unlimited pass, if I, as an individual, went to buy an unlimited pass for myself, it would cost about $1,300 a year. Whereas a monthly parking spot cost is around like $200, $250 a month. So that averages out about $3,000 a year. So it's a pretty clear, pretty significant discount. And in doing so, you can not only save money, you can improve traffic congestion for everyone commuting to your workplace, including customers or clients, if that's relevant. You can reduce emissions. One of the companies I worked at prior that offered a transit pass but not parking benefits had really strong ties to sustainability within their mission. So they said, you know, because we care about the environment and sustainability, and we have these sustainability goals we're trying to meet, we don't offer free parking, but we do offer a free transit pass. So that's also a great way to kind of make that transition. And it does attract talent. 1 in 5 Seattle households doesn't have a car. We've seen a lot of folks moving here that maybe come from places where they didn't have to drive or haven't gotten a driver's license in the US yet. So there's a lot of folks that will feel heard and spoken to if you consider offering transit passes instead of, or transportation benefits that aren't just catered to drivers. As I mentioned, talent prefers transit. Transit usage may fluctuate, but we've seen commute trips on the rise in the data, and employees often cite transit benefits as a key factor when considering where they want to move to for a new company. For retail businesses or other shops dependent on foot traffic, transit commuters spend locally. They're more likely to visit shops and restaurants near their work site than SOV commuters. Even if it's someone who's coming in, they may still drive occasionally, but they come in on transit a couple of days. That's the case for me. And when I know I'm saving $10 a day on the toll of not driving across 520, I kind of think, oh, here's a couple of extra dollars. I can maybe get a sweet treat on the way to the office or something like that. Also because they're spending more time walking from a transit center to their workplace instead of just driving into the building, driving into the parking lot and taking the elevator up to their office. And it's really just a win-win-win, you know, less cars on the road, shorter, less stressful commutes for those who do drive, and more parking available for potential customers. I mentioned this, but beyond it being a big deal operationally, it can be a big deal on social media and for your marketing. The hype is major, not something to miss out on. For us, all of our posts at the BDA that we've posted referencing the light rail have done really, really well, gotten a lot of engagement. We consistently see news articles from Seattle Times and other articles are always, those are the top ones, most read. So there's a lot of eyes on it right now, and it's just a major buzzword on any sort of social media platform. Some ways to take advantage of this is using wayfinding signs. So those A-frames, if you rely on foot traffic, direct folks with one of these signs to your location, let them know they're headed in the right direction, or even catch the attention of people who might be just happen to be walking by. You can also engage in some creative promotions, offer promotions or incentives to those who do take transit to your location. You can also consider collaborating with nearby small businesses to make it maybe a block-wide or neighborhood-wide promotion to reach even more potential customers. This is something that the BDA did with the ice rink. We offered $5 off to folks who took the transit to the ice rink. And it was another great benefit because parking is always a struggle there. So, and you know, there's multiple ways to benefit. Doing focused social posts, creating a reel or posting a map demonstrating how easy it is to visit your location via transit, and leverage the attention around the tool line with keywords and hashtags. And finally, making transit directions clear on your website, advertising that you're accessible by transit, adding direction pages, and detailing walking distance times or maps and those simple directions. Here are just some examples. If you wanted to do an A-frame on the street, you know, directing folks to come get coffee at your workplace, or here's one that we used for the ice rink, kind of detailing specific ways they can get there without needing to park. And an example post of what it might look like to call out how close you are to the light rail. Cool. We also can do, we've made some videos getting places. So if you have, via transit, if you have an event coming up, let us know. We may be able to highlight how to get there via transit, which is something we did for the ice rink, and a variety of other events that happen. When the Federal Way station opened in December of last year, we saw some businesses making really cute posts saying, you know, hey, Federal Way, we're just a quick 5-minute walk from the Capitol Hill station. And as a way to take advantage of the fact that this is such an expansive, extensive network now. And so there's customers you may have that are in cities you wouldn't have considered before. There are marketing resources available. Sound Transit has put out available graphic elements, vehicle illustrations, and maps. You'll just want to make sure if you use them, they're in line with their branding guidelines, which are also available on that website. And they also have a public photo gallery full of images of trains, buses, stations. And yes, all of the images you've seen me use are from those spots. Oh, yep, and Jonathan just sent the link in the chat. They've also included some key messages, sample social media copy, and as well as the hashtags to use. I also saw today that Sound Transit posted saying that they want to see content creators just, you know, if you're taking light rail to one of your events, or if you are a content creator or something like that, if you tag Sound Transit, they want to see it. There's opportunity to be reposted there. So there's a lot of really cool stuff happening, and Sound Transit wants to highlight that as part of all of the hype around the 2 line. Thank you. Yeah, thank you guys all so much for coming. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll hang out here for a second if anyone wants to ask one or send one in the chat. Again, this will go out to everybody. There's the website as well. We have office hours next week if anyone has any questions they want to discuss in person. And with the link that Jonathan just sent in the chat, you can also see our previous webinars. So, cool. Thank you guys so much.